Welcome back to HPL at the PvP Live Studios here in Frisco, Texas. And what? Powder just took a 2-0 lead here over Neirea, getting the better of him in both queue-ups so far. He's looked great in this match.
He's looked fantastic so far in this one. What do you think about Powder's queue-up so far in this matchup? Do you think Neirea has possibly over-adjusted to the way that Powder's played? Get out there on Twitter and use that hashtag HPL. Let us know exactly your thoughts on this match, what's going on out there. Also, you can tag PvP Live in those tweets. You can head over to Facebook and like and comment on that page as well. We'll be checking those comments out after the show and seeing exactly what you guys think of this match. But so far, Powder looking unstoppable.
Yeah, you know, coming into this match, we talked about somebody had to make an adjustment probably, and it really needed to be Powder, and he's done it very well.
Yeah, Game 3 Powder versus Neirea is getting underway right now, guys. Powder 2-0 over Neirea right now. Neirea's going to need a massive win streak to pick this up.
Yeah, Powder on match point here. Neirea needs to do the reverse sweep, and Powder going to Druid.
Yeah, I mean, Druid's looked fantastic so far in this match. You know, it's worked out for Powder, hasn't worked out for Neirea, and Neirea with his back against the wall has gone to those pure control routes. More of an open-ended style, not necessarily targeted at one way or the other, just wants to have a lot of options and a lot of potential for big swingy turns.
Yeah, this deck is right up Neirea's alley. Anytime you could play a handlock variant, he's going to be a big fan and a big proponent of it.
Yeah, Druid, though, you know, often comes well-equipped to fight off against exactly what Handlock's doing, but with 2 Shades and X Ramans in his hand, and Neirea picking up a Hellfire, this game could spell a little bit of trouble.
Oh, yeah, it might be a little bit of trouble. These Shades are not going to be long for this world. This Hellfire is going to do a lot of work. You'll probably see it actually just trade 1 for 1 here, but there's always the chance something crazy happens and he gets both.
Yeah, you know, with the Mountain Giant in his hand, you know, there's a good possibility he wants to cast Hellfire a little bit earlier than normal. But, you know, there's also a good possibility he holds off. If he casts Hellfire right now, he won't catch a piloted Shredder in that as well, so wouldn't mind seeing him hold that either.
Yes, I'm saying it matters how aggressive he wants to be. With having Ancient Watcher to play as well, this gives him the chance to really blow out Powder here. Now, I don't know if Powder's actually going to make this kind of commitment and play the second Shade here.
I think he's got to. I mean, Shade in the early game is really the only spot where it can start getting rolling. If you play it later on, it's just not nearly as good. And 2 Shades and X Ramans on board, Neirea's got to feel great about this Hellfire. So powerful. And now Powder, you know, going to be able to seize back initiative here, but he's going to start facing down some much larger threats in the coming turns.
Yeah, a lot of big threats going to be coming out of Neirea's hand. And, you know, you've got to feel like you kind of got there a little bit, but you still have a ton of stuff going on. You've got this Azure Drake, you have this Keeper of the Grove, it's going to be good later in the game, and you have this Dr. Boom for turn 7. So, you know, you can still push forward through here. You know, don't get too upset about losing both of your Shades there. That was a big play on Neirea's side, though.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like an Emperor Thoris on turn to me. In all honesty, I mean, what better play is there than just jam Emperor Thoris on out and let him do his work? This will force Powder to take some sort of action versus this. Always scary to leave Emperor Thoris on around, but he's got Swipe in his hand perfectly to take care of both of these minions.
Emperor Thoris quickly becoming one of the scariest cards in Hearthstone. I mean, it was scary when it first came out, but you're just seeing it in almost every deck here on HPL, and the impact that it has on these games is unbelievable. It has like pseudo taunt, as we like to say a lot. You know, you have to take care of it. You can't let it sit around. It's almost like every minion out of a rogue deck. You just have to answer it immediately.
Yeah, and it also gives you immediate benefit at the end of your turn too. Just beautiful stuff. You know, actually, when Chalky and Ecop and I were reviewing this set, we had read Emperor Thoris on, and we're like, what on earth is going on in this one? Neirea, fantastic turn from him, though. This Emperor Thoris really being a catalyst into this turn. Being able to get Mountain Giant and a minor threat on board as well.
And draw an extra card as well, too.
This is, I mean, this is a very big spot for him, and Powder does not have a way to answer both of these minions this turn. He's going to settle on Dr. Boom to try to take this one out, but that is a Shadow Flame over in Neirea's hand, so he can keep this board cleared up and moving forward.
Yeah, if that's something he wants to do this turn, he can swing for 8 and Shadow Flame. You know, he can't really develop his board too much of that. He has an Ancient Watcher that he can play. You got to think he's going to at least take his time to consider doing something like playing these Sludge Belchers or this Twilight Drake, but with him playing Ancient Watcher, I've got to believe he's going to Shadow Flame here. Yeah, make sure you attack for 8 first.
Also wants the Ancient Watcher out to try to absorb some of this Boombot damage.
Yeah,
oh, wow, actually, this is actually much better. For some reason, wasn't even seeing this Dark Bomb in his hand. That's beautiful. He gets to keep his 8-4 on board. Is at 15 now, so does have to worry about some of the damage potentially coming from Powder, but Powder isn't going to combo him this turn out of the game, so Neirea's got 2 Antique Heal Bots to back this up.
Yeah, so Powder's in a weird spot here as well. He can swipe to take care of this Mountain Giant.
I think this swipe is going for the Dome. I think he's Wrathing for 3 and swiping. Could be totally wrong, it looks like, though. Yep, he's going to Wrath for 3 and then Keeper of the Grove. But wants the extra threat on board for the Force Nature Savageur. This is also very good.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a good play from him. He's trying to force through lethal next turn in case Neirea can't stop anything from here. And plus, with this play, you have to put that into Neirea's mind for the rest of the game and make him start playing defensive from here on out.
Yeah, you can even see Powder hesitated for a moment on his attack. Do I want to put my opponent down to that life total? Neirea, though, very quick action from him. Twilight Drake plus Sludge Belcher. This will stop some of the incoming damage, but you know, every single turn for the rest of the game, he does have to be concerned about the possibilities of Force Nature Savageur.
Yeah, and as you can see, Powder actually does have it. This is a thing that you talk about a lot with Druid. You have to always worry about it once they get to these 9 mana turns, that something like Savageur, Force of Nature is going to happen, even if they don't have it. And sometimes the way they play really telegraphs that they do, or they can play in that manner even if they don't, to make you play differently.
Yeah, so we'll have to see exactly what he wants to choose here. You know, one of the big problems with this is if he goes swiping hero power, he's going to be floating 3 mana this turn. And you can see that with these 2 larger minions, he wants to get some development on board as well. So he's debating putting damage on his Keeper of the Grove, or if he wants to forego playing a minion this turn.
Yeah, I gotta believe he's gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta believe he's gonna use this Keeper of the Grove here and play the Sludge Belcher. I can't imagine him passing up progressing his own board this turn and kind of trying to protect his Keeper of the Grove.
That is a really big draw from Neirea at this point. He's going to kind of help take care of Powder's board here. And then this Dr. Boom backed with a Sun Fury Protector is going to add a lot of defensive measures to his side. I mean, these Boombots will have to get some work done, though, because this is a Force Nature Savageur turn, and this looks like, unless these Boombots roll, or unless this Boombot rolls extremely well, this is lethal to me.
Yeah, it looks like Powder might have to take this chance.
Yeah, there's actually no way that he can play around it, like other than like the Force Nature Savageur just going to kill his entire board. I have to believe that's what he wants to go for right now.
We'll have to see if Powder makes this play. He's going to take his time, kind of, you know, think about everything through this turn. You know, I got to believe this isn't a Ragnaros turn, and Ancient of Lore drawing 2 cards doesn't seem amazing here as well. You don't have anything like Shade of Nexramas in your deck anymore to really have something to play after this.
Yeah, sort of at this point in the game, Neirea has, you know, played kind of all of his cards face up at this point, and it's a matter of how much pressure that Powder can get applied. You know, this is almost turned into a grind battle, and when you have Ragnaros and Ancient of Lore to back this up, you have a comfortable health total. Neirea's falling low. I mean, this feels like a great spot to use this and keep that pressure high.
Oh, I 100% agree with you here, but he's going to take a little bit of a different line, it looks like.
Yeah, wants to put Dr. Boom down to 5. Maybe just Force of Nature to get the job done here. Maybe even just Ancient of Lore. I'm curious. Now he's going to go with Ragnaros here. Well, nope, he's going to draw a card first.
He needs to hurry up. These animations actually have to happen. He's just going to go ahead and put the Ragnaros into play here.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Ragnaros down and hope that it goes well for him. I mean, a couple of these targets are very good, but some of them could easily backfire.
The best one is definitely Dr. Boom. Oh, Face isn't bad.
You know, Face ain't bad in this spot. 7, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage from Neirea's side of the board is a little bit scary. And now he's drawn this Molten Giant that he can set on board for free and then back this up with even more defense. This game's so far very back and forth.
Yeah, you definitely see him play something like Sludge Belcher and Antique Killbot this turn. It's defensive and it gives him 8 more life, kind of cushions him against these Savage Roar, Force of Nature combos coming from him. And you got to wonder about this turn from Powder here.
Even going to use life taps so aggressively. You know, if he life taps that aggressively, I got to believe this is going to be double Anti-Healbot, but we're going to see exactly what goes on this spot. He is going to go with Sludge Belcher instead. And Neirea, I have to believe that this Ragnaros is going to bite the dust. Or is he just going to push?
I think he's just going to push for damage. Well, actually, he's going to take his time.
Yeah, he just needs to think about this very carefully now. You know, with this much pressure on board, I mean, why risk anything in this position?
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely agree with you here. This seems like a pretty good spot to just take care of Ragnaros.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Get some damage in still from your Boombot
I have to believe that that's the right play. Powder down to 12 at this point, and he has to do something about this board position now. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 points of damage on Neirea's side.
Lord, not enough to keep him alive here.
Yeah, and that Force of Nature Savageur, I mean, at this point, it's stranded in his hand. It's so hard to chew through a Sludge Belcher with that combo.
Yeah, and Powder's got to be regretting not going for it last turn of this Force of Nature Savageur, because this turn, I mean, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, you know, last turn, if he would have forced Nature Savageur, this would have been a very different game, but Neirea still had so much defense. It would have been hard for him to recover for this. Not even going to try to pick up the pieces and go forward here. You know, the fact that it's going to be so inefficient to chew through the Sludge Belcher just decides, you know, he's gonna tuck his tail and get back to his you know, changing his deck and seeing exactly what he can do better. But you just take your beating. The guy beat you this game. You know, let him have his day in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to wonder, why didn't he go for that last turn? That Force of Nature Savageur looked like it would have worked out pretty well. You wonder if the whole game would have been different from there if he could have not only won that turn, but put himself in a position where he's still going to win from there instead of letting Neirea get the win and get on the board here. It's now 2-1. Powder's still leading in the match.
Really, I think the big story of this is how well that Neirea was able to fend off the pressure from Powder in this match. Had Hellfire to clear out 2 Shades of Nex Ramus, and then had a defensive measure at every single step of the way. At the end of the game, he had 2 Sludge Belchers and 2 Antique Heal Bots in his hand. Even if Powder would have gone for it in that situation, Neirea's defense was just set up too well, then Powder couldn't do anything about it. If you guys want to check this game out for yourself, you can head over to pvplive.net and see the full stats breakdowns and the recap from this game. Exactly what both of these players did and how Neirea was able to keep himself in this game despite the pressure that Powder was throwing at him. So like as you said, these guys are changing their decks right now. They can build their way, make changes to their decks in any way that they see fit for every single game here. So when we come back, game 4 is going to be getting underway, and Neirea is on his first step to reverse sweeping Powder. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.